All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. It's your boy, it's Matt. Today we're going to be talking about UFC 323, Merab Dvalishvili versus Petr Yan for the bantamweight title. And we're just going to talk about the pure performance that Yan just performed, that he just displayed his skill. And we're just going to get straight into the video, you know, no bullshit. None of this beat around the bush. We're going to be talking about 5 different other fights that I was interested in, and we're going to break them down, talk about the result. So let's just get straight into the video. No nonsense, let's go. But before we get into the video, make sure you guys like the video, like it, subscribe to the channel so you can keep up when I'm posting, and comment what you guys want to see next and what you thought about this video and the card. We're still trying to grow, you know, we're still at the beginning. So let's just get straight into this video. No wasting time, let's go. So let's talk about the fights. The first one that I was interested in, Edson Barbosa versus Jalen Turner. He knocked him out in the first round. Jalen Turner finished Edson Barbosa in the first round, which I'm kind of not surprised. Edson Barbosa hasn't really been as the same as he was. Jalen Turner is younger, so I expected this to happen. But in the first round, I was like, wow, okay. In the first round is crazy. Stops him, finishes him. Edson Barbosa's all bloodied up. It was a good fight. A really good fight. Sound boring, don't I? Second fight I was actually interested in was Jan Blachowicz versus Guskov, and apparently it was a really good fight. It was very back and forth, a lot of like just good exchanges, very good striking, very good wrestling, hurting each other multiple times, you know, and it ended in a draw, which I expected. I mean, didn't necessarily expect it, but I'm not surprised because the fight was really even. So it was really hard to judge, you know. Some people could say that Yan won, some people could say the other guy won, but it was a draw. Pretty good fight, very back and forth, so I guess it was hard to score. To the next fight, this one's leading up into the, I guess, the main fights that were actually on UFC 323. So Triple C, Henry Cejudo versus Peyton Talbot. Now this was Henry Cejudo's last fight. He said he was about to retire after this fight, win or lose, so people were expecting him to just leave it all out in the octagon, you know. So I guess that's what he tried doing, but with the test of time is undefeated, and when you've been in the fighting too long, time will catch up with you. It'll catch up with your body. And that's exactly what happened, because this fight wasn't close. It wasn't a close fight. Peyton Talbot absolutely just shut everything Henry could even do. Beat him in the wrestling, which was Henry's niche. It was his thing. It was what he was known for. An Olympic world champion, gold medalist. And he lost in that department. He was losing in the striking department. He was getting outclassed. So basically, it was the right call to make it his last fight. Even he said after the ring, you could see him talking to Dana White saying that it just showed that this was my last fight. I couldn't do nothing against this guy. So what can I do? It's time to hang up the belt or hang up the gloves. And he's accomplished a lot in the sport too. Simultaneous 2-division champ. He beat the greatest flyweight of all time in Demetrius Johnson, even though that was a really close fight and could have gone either way, but he beat him nonetheless. And then he beat TJ Dillashaw, he beat Dominic Cruz, he beat a lot of people. So, you know, he's been in the sport a pretty dang long time, and this was his last fight. So no more Henry Cejudo, no more Triple C fighting, and he is older. He is an older guy, so it makes sense. So that was another fight that I thought was actually really interesting. I just wanted to see how Henry would just do in his last fight. And he said he left it all out, which clearly shows that he tried to do his best. But test of time is undefeated. So, you know, time was just on Peyton's side. So he was a younger guy, he was an up and comer, he wanted to prove something, and he did. He beat him. So that's that. And the next fight after that was Brendan Moreno versus Tatsuro Taira. Now this is Brendan Moreno trying to get back to that flyweight champion, Alexandre Pantoja. So he's been up and down sometimes when it comes to his results in fighting. You know, he's been the champ, but he was mainly just fighting Davis and Figueiredo for like the past 4 fights and beat him, and fighting Kai Kara France, fighting other people. So he was just trying to get back his way to the belt and title contendership. But this fight just basically just brought him down a peg because he got TKO'd, I think, for the first time in the UFC, which is crazy because he's been very durable, very like quick-witted, can get back up if he's hurt, or can really show a good poker face. But Tatsuro just finished him. Now, people are saying, was it early? No, it wasn't early. He was hurt. So, yeah, what do you do next for Brendan Moreno? I don't know. He's a real tricky fighter to figure out on what to do next. But this is good for Tatsuro Taira because he just beat a former champ and gets him closer to title contendership. So we'll see with that. Now on to the co-main event. Alexandre Pantoja versus Joshua Van. Now this was a pretty hyped fight because Van was on a killer winning streak, just flatlining people, beating them. And Alexandre Pantoja, the reigning champ, beat Brandon Moreno for the belt and then just started defending the belt against everyone. And yes, he's shown some weakness, mainly due to his endurance, but he's been winning. He's been winning. So we wanted to see what would happen here. And this fight was actually pretty hype because people were trying to see, can this guy actually beat the current champ, which is basically the same narrative into the main event, which we'll get to later. We wanted to see what would happen, see if Joshua can actually beat the current champ. Now, first 20 seconds in, he just like breaks his elbow. His elbow is just completely like torn to the other side and completely broken. First takedown attempt, tried to just take him down and grapple, and then just lands differently. And there you go. That's basically that's the fight that just happened, which is insane because we wanted to see a fight go longer, like a war. Like 30 seconds in, elbow break. Like, what do you do? It's strange. And then you see people clowning him, Joshua Van, for celebrating, like saying like, yo, I just did the sickest win. Which honestly, yeah, I can understand why. Like, you're just like, you're beating your chest saying like, yeah, I just beat this guy. It's like the whole Aljamain Sterling thing, you know, with Petr Yan. Like, you didn't beat him. Yes, you technically won because the guy couldn't continue, but like, you got the belt. So yeah, congrats. But it's like, if that was me, I wouldn't be satisfied. I'd have to rematch you and then prove that I can actually beat you for real, because that's just like, nah, I couldn't do that. I couldn't win by basically giving it handed to me or by luck. Nah. So in that case, I don't think they're going to run it back immediately because of how injured he is. So I think Joshua Van's probably going to defend it one time and then rematch him. But until then, that's probably the fight that people want to see, is just a rematch so they can actually get a definitive winner instead of someone just getting injured. But yeah, anticlimactic co-main event, especially for a title fight. That stinks. Anyways, now on to the main reason why we're making this video, the main event. Merab Dvalishvili versus Petr Yan. The rematch. They fought one time. Merab won. It wasn't really that good of a fight. Merab won, yes. But it was just like, this is in the early stages of where Merab, before he started developing better striking and grappling, it was just, let me see how many times I can shoot and let me just hold. That's how his fights were before, until he started actually like dominating and winning against better opponents. So we wanted to see, you know. And Petr Yan, he had a big hiccup after he lost to Aljamain Sterling in that DQ. Like, he lost a close rematch. He lost a close fight to Sean O'Malley, which personally I thought he won. And then he lost again to Merab. So he was trying to build his way back up. But then afterwards, he goes on another just 4-fight win streak. Beats Song Yadon, beats Davison Figueiredo, Marcus McGee. 3-fight win streak. And then he fights for the belt. Now let's actually break down this whole fight. Now, we wanted to see how Petr Yan adjusted. How would he adjust to Merab and that pressure, that just cardio machine? We wanted to see how he would do. We wanted to see if he made any adjustments from the previous fight, saying he was injured, his shoulder was injured, and that he couldn't really fight to his best capabilities. And obviously Merab's gonna be like, stop making excuses, you lost. So it's like, yeah, makes sense. So we wanted to see, and Petr Yan came in a bit bigger this fight to at least match up Merab's physicality, because Merab's a pretty big bantamweight. So we wanted to see how he would do. Now in the first 2 rounds, it's pretty much the same. Like, when the start of the first round, it's pretty much the same Merab fight and Petr Yan fight. Merab always starts off fast. Petr Yan always gives up at least the first or second round just to download the info and then break you later. So we wanted to see whose game plan will be implemented more, and then we got to see that. So in the first round, Petr Yan lands a clean right hand and he rocks Merab. He rocks him, which was crazy. So I was like, wow, okay, keep the momentum going and see where it leads. So then just for the first round, you'd have to give it to Merab just because of the output. He was landing more He was more frequent. He was shooting in. And yeah, you give him the first round. Then the second round hit. And Merab, yeah, he was going in. But then Petr Yan was just adjusting very well. He knew the takedown was coming, and he knew that he's a better striker. So once Merab just started shooting and shooting and shooting, you see Petr Yan defend more, defend better. And then you just see him land a takedown of his own. Now, be in mind, yes, Merab scrambles up and gets a better position, but then Petr Yan just positions better as well, rolls, and then they both get back up. And you can see Petr Yan is hanging in there with Merab's pressure. And then afterwards, when the second round is done, yes, you can give that one to Merab too. I personally see both of those rounds to Merab. I'd probably have to watch the fight back again, but those two, when I was watching it live, those two were Merab's. I could give it to him. But then 3, 4, and 5, Petr Yan just turned up. He turned the dial to like 300 and just started going in. In the third round, you can see Petr Yan a bit slow down a bit, but he was winning. He was landing the bigger shots. He was landing the more accurate shots. He was getting takedowns of his own. He was putting on the pressure, and he hurt Merab multiple times, body and head. He landed like a nice, in the southpaw stance, landed a nice rear kick right into his liver, and you can hear Merab cry out. He shouted out because that's how much it hurt. Do you know how crazy that is? Like, watching back this fight, it was like, this is why people like MMA. MMA is so entertaining because you get fights like this. People coming in off of losing for a while, then winning, building themselves back up to the title, and then beating the champ and becoming a champ. This is what you love to see. And Petr Yan demonstrated that by just making the adjustments that he needed to do. And when he was hurt, he tried to go in. Yes, Merab survived. You have to give credit to Merab for surviving. But Petr Yan was just assassin that night. Like, I remember this one combo he threw. He slipped, threw a jab, and then threw an uppercut, and then just digged right into the liver with the left hook, and that hurt Merab again. Petr Yan was busting up Merab's face in this fight, and then slammed him on his head. He slammed Merab on his head. Yes, then afterwards Merab got a takedown, but it was like that showboating takedown that you see, that like he just holds him there for like a 2 seconds, slams him down, but then Petr Yan just got right back up and was like, yeah, nah, you're not doing that to me again. And then just started busting his face open again. Liver kick, boom, liver kick, boom, right hand over, left hook, body shot, leg kick, just dismantling Merab. This was like probably almost the fight of the year. I'm just saying that right now. This was such a good fight. And then afterwards, just Petr Yan just kept dominating. Third, fourth, and fifth rounds, all Petr Yan's. You have to give it to him for the damage, for the amount of times that he's been hurting Merab, the takedowns, the control, the pressure. You have to give all of that to Petr Yan in those 3 rounds. And if you did it, then I don't know what kind of fight you're watching. Yeah, you can say that it was kind of close because Merab had some output, but damage is first. Yes, the amount of times you've landed is second, and then the pressure and the takedowns are third. Now, people are saying, yeah, okay, it was close because Merab was throwing more, but none of those shots were altering the outcome of the round. They weren't producing any damage, and they weren't that accurate. Petr Yan's damaging Merab, very accurate, had like a 60% accuracy in total strikes, and then got more takedowns, got 3 takedowns compared to Merab's 2, which is crazy because Merab shot like 73 takedowns. That's crazy. And then at the end, and new Petr Yan won. He beat him and is the new bantamweight champion. Now, what do you do next? What do you do next? No, Merab wants the rematch. He wants the trilogy, which after that, even though I think that it's going to go the same way, probably even worse because of the amount of damage that Merab took from that fight, he deserves it because he defended the belt 3 times this year, and this was his 4th fight just in 2025. That's when I think he probably deserves it. I think he probably does deserve it. Now, was it the right game plan for Merab? No, because it's just Merab being Merab. The game plan was always the same: pressure, takedown, strike. Yeah. So that's why you have to give credit to Petr Yan, because he just basically shut all that down. He shut all of that down. He made the adjustments from the first fight, getting taken down too much, getting outstruck, not pressuring enough, and he just flipped it over and made all of that just go away. Now for Petr Yan, what do? You give him the Merab rematch. That's my opinion, because I think he does deserve it. But then you have so many other contenders you can do. You could do the Sean O'Malley rematch, really prove that you can actually beat him, which I actually thought he did. I thought he won the first fight, but he didn't. I don't know how he didn't. He won definitely like the first and third round. But then after that, what do? There's a lot of fights that you can have. There are a lot of rematches too, because Petr Yan basically beat all these guys. So yeah, with Merab, yeah, you can get the rematch. But if you don't, who do you fight? You beat Corey Sandhagen, you beat Sean O'Malley twice. Who else is there? Not really much. So yeah, give him the rematch, probably give him a third fight, and then we'll see where we can go from there. But yeah, Petr Yan, he's probably he's like one of my favorite fighters in the UFC. He's always been one of my favorite fighters, because he's very like, he can mix up the fight. He can mix up the martial arts. He's very technical when it comes to his boxing and his kicking. His wrestling is good too. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's been UFC 323. What did you guys think of the card? If you guys watched it, obviously you guys should have watched it. Come on, this was actually a sleeper card. There's bare finishes, like more than usual. Bare quick fights, bare finishes. Yes, some controversy, but it actually performed. This was an underrated UFC event, and I hope we get more of these. You know, what's next? I don't know. But thank you guys for watching, and make sure you like the video. Make sure you go subscribe, comment what you guys thought of the video and what you thought of the card. And this has been your boy Matt. Thank you for watching. Take care. Peace.